What single act of seduction got you thinking, wow, that actually work? I had been on a date with this girl like once or twice and then we go swimming. Afterwards we went back to my apartment. Well, my dad's, I was still in high school and I wanted to get rid of the smell of chlorine on me. So I told her I'm going to shower, feel free to join me, in that half-joking tone, thinking it would never work. 2 minutes into it she hops in there with me. And that's the story of how I lost my virginity. A buddy of mine had been drinking with a good friend, now Geff. They were sitting on the couch and he told her, "You smell like girl." To this day, even she doesn't understand how that worked. Sarcastically introducing myself as King Edward II to the girl sitting beside me. It was during one of those inane college class introductions where you pick a partner and introduce them to the class. She went on to regale the class with my many military victories and how I deposed Roger Mortimer for control of the English throne. I shouldn't have been surprised because it was a tried and true JFK line, but I was anyway. I was at a loud party, trying to chat up a very pretty girl I had met once or twice before. I got frustrated not being able to hear, and I just leaned real close to her and said, "Would you like to discuss this someplace quieter?" She just gave me this look, and 20 seconds later, we were in her room making out. She was hosting the party, and after that point I guess she didn't do a very good job hosting. I was texting a girl one night who lived about an hour away. She said, "I wish I was tired, I just can't sleep tonight." I said, "You should come sleep with me instead." She said, "Okay." An hour later, she was at my door. We banged. I have no idea how that happened. Honestly, I'm surprised every time I go to kiss a girl I just met and she actually goes along with it. So, every act of seduction. I was at a bar having a little birthday party for myself and my super crush shows up. I'm 3 sheets at this point and we start talking. Out of nowhere, the honesty train comes barreling down the tracks and I say to her, "I'm super drunk and I'm probably going to start throwing up in a few minutes, so if you want to make out, we gotta do it now." She says, "Okay." We make out, and much later than I thought I threw up, true to my word. Not on her though, just for clarification. My friend was talking to this girl who said she was an aspiring actress. He said let's do a scene. She agreed, so they pretended to be a couple at a diner having a fight, and it ended in a furious makeout session. Probably the most masterful and committed pickup attempt I've ever seen. By the way, on my Discord server I give you money for uploading my videos to TikTok, and the one who gains the most views in a month gets an extra $1,000. More details on my Discord server, link in the comments. Caught a girl in my bed by telling her about my clock that projects the time on the ceiling. She got on my bed, looked up and said, "I don't see anything." Enter Smooth Jonas, "Oh yeah, I have to turn the lights off." Bada boom. The week before I had gone on my first date with a great girl, and come Saturday night we had both been working on a project together with a bunch of other people. It was super cold, so I gave her a ride back to her dorm, but she'd forgotten her keys and it was late. She was worrying about where she'd sleep that night, and I said, "I got a bed." So she agreed and we spent that night in my twin bed, cuddling and talking and dry humping until about 3:30 in the morning. 9 months later, we couldn't be happier together. No, she's not pregnant. I got a girl's number, and the first time I called her to try to get her to come out for drinks, she told me she had to pick up her friend at the airport early the next day. I said, "I live way closer to the airport than you, and I have an alarm clock." We were like 2 hours later. Looking back, I still can't believe it worked. About 3 years ago, I went to a house party with some friends. One girl was there who I thought was absolutely gorgeous. Puerto Rican, nice skin, curly hair, and a great butt. I told my friend who lived there that I thought her friend was cute. I keep seeing gorgeous PR girl around the party. We make slight eye contact and she brushes past me a few times. However, I have yet to say anything to her. This goes on for about 2 hours. Fast forward and a few of us go outside to smoke and drink. We are just chilling on the back porch, no lights on, and the girl is just standing next to me. I put my arm around her waist and pull her towards me little by little. Eventually, the group disbands and everyone goes back inside, except us. We just stand there for a little while, and I kind of just keep caressing her body with my hands. This turns into making out, and next thing I know, she starts zipping my pants down. And that is the story of how I got a blowjob without uttering a single word. I surprised myself that day. Drove her back after a night out with a bunch of mutual friends. She says she wants to get a shower before bed. I nod and say, "I'll watch." Not much sleeping got done after that. I should really be forward more often. I came home to see my wet dealer roommate smoking pot with a very hot woman. She was an escort buying wet from him. I opened a bottle of wine, and after a bit she told me all the things she would do to me if I paid her. I told her that she could get all the sex she wanted for free. She stayed with me that night, and she became my CF for about 4 months. Had to end it because she was batshit crazy, but it was fun. It's worth mentioning that I was a broke ass wheelchair-bound 30-year-old. Met two girls in a hostel in New Zealand and went out drinking together. Caught a little tipsy and told them both I was terrible in bed, even going as far as to tell them a few amusing stories for verification, to tears of laughter. They both went to bathroom and drew straws or something because only one came back, and she grabbed me straight away and kissed me. A few shenanigans later and we were back in her room. An interesting night to say the least. Some guy I knew seduced a girl by telling her that he was so bad in bed that she has to try it. She agreed and finished him off by telling him that it actually was bad. I knew him because he contemplated Sudoku. Communicating love through eye contact. I don't know, but if you make the right kind of eye contact, it can do more for you than words can. On Tinder, I opened up with "Yo girl, you so fine, your dad's dick, just eat the recipe." I was thoroughly surprised when this worked and she responded. I had just met this one girl after high school and she was telling me that she gives amazing head. I immediately tell her that her head game is probably whack and she's over-exaggerating. She instantly gets mad and whips my dick out and starts giving me the best head I ever got in my life. I think I came in less than 2 minutes. Edit. Just to add on, after that she never did it again. She literally gave me the best head ever just to prove to me that she had skills. Can't believe it worked. Very early in college, I brought a girl back to my dorm to watch a movie. I knew I wanted to make move, but I had no idea how to be smooth about it. So like a true rock star, I just put my arm around her as we sat on the futon. Eventually, she nervously mentioned that she wasn't looking for a boyfriend or anything. That followed with me being like, well, that's ok. I just, was wondering if you want to fool around or something. While gesticulating like an idiot, she was totally down with it and I got a BJ. New girl starts work. 20 minutes max goes by before one of the guys goes to hit on her. Her blah blah blah, because my birthday is in a few days. Him, I know. Think to myself, no you don't, you jackass. You are meeting her for the first time right now. Him, I have the memory of an elephant, and that's not the only thing. Asterisk wink asterisk. She moves in close, starts touching his shirt, and I'm just trying to remember where I might have ingested crazy pills. I know for a fact they had not met or talked to each other before the start of the shift. My buddy and I play a game where we use terrible lines in noisy bars to make people unsure if they've heard us correctly. He once brought home a heady girl using the line, "Does it smell like whale puppy in here?" In high school, me and my friend went on a double date. He was dating a girl and she had a friend, so he brought me along, so kind of a blind date, at the movies. Once we got in, we were all laughing and cutting up waiting for the movie to start, and the girl I was with tries saying something to the other girl and got no reply. We look over and they are making out with each other. She then looks back at me and says, "Well, Dan, now what do we do?" It felt almost like an invitation to kiss her, so I grab her face and plant one right on her mouth and say, "How about this?" We made out the whole movie and dated for a few months after that. I was flirting with some old married lady at the bar. She went to the bathroom and her friend said I should follow her. I did, thinking it would be funny. She basically ripped my pants off and started blowing me. Not only was she married, but we were in a filthy bathroom and a girl peeing next to us. I apparently am not very sexually competent because I only got to half-mast before I felt bad and gross and left. I ended up getting drunker and putting it in her ass later that night. I felt so gross. One Halloween years ago, when I was 171, asked a gal I'd known for a few months what she was doing that night. She told me she was babysitting for some people and would be staying in. I jokingly said, "Why don't I come over and we'll make wild, passionate love?" She said, "Yeah." Met her at 8:00 p.m. Was not disappointed. Apparently, intently listening to a woman is like pure liquid sex. I had completely unintentional hookups simply on the basis of finding something they had to say interesting. People I expressed zero sexual interest in have remembered me or asked about me weeks after a single conversation. I come to two conclusions based on this. 1. Evidently, no one listens to women, or at least not full-grown men. A stranger paying 100% attention to your words must be the female equivalent of an impromptu blowjob. It can make their whole fucking month. 2. Despite knowing this, it's really fucking hard to do. There's too much distraction in the modern world, and most idle conversations are just too damn mind-numbing to commit your full attention. I guess for men, people pay just enough attention to them that this is no biggie, but for women, it's so rare it counts as a form of seduction. I sat next to a girl under a blanket in a living room with some more people, and somehow I had the audacity to just start fumbling her breasts. I hadn't met her before, she liked it and we ended up in bed, but to just start touching a woman's boobs out of nowhere is ballsy at best. I once asked a girl I met that night if she wanted to go bang in the pipes behind the pool hall, giant maze of construction pipes. It didn't work that night, but apparently I gave her my number and she ended up calling me a week later and we had a good time for a couple years. This question came after making out with one of the two girls she came with and then making fun of the other one until she had to be physically restrained from attacking me in the parking lot. Approaching girls on the street, otherwise known as day game. Literally just going up to a girl, anywhere, stopping them for a minute, like how you might stop someone for directions, and then just explaining that you wanted to meet them and try to drum up a conversation. If you get along, getting a phone number and setting up a date. I've been on more dates in a year than most guys will have in their entire lifetime. It's difficult to work up the bravery at first, and you have to persevere through the rejections and weird reactions. But it gets easier, and eventually they don't faze you. If you're just straight up and honest and chill about things, you won't come across creepy. Most girls react neutrally no matter what you look like. Looks don't really play a part. The brave action of just having the balls to approach and then actually be genuine, interesting, and not creepy is enough to get most girls on a date. It also makes you much more confident with being in public and dealing with people in general. I meet a few new people every week as a result now. New dates about once every week or 2 weeks. I met a girl at a bar one night. We chatted up for a bit, and at the end of the conversation she left me her number and invited me to AFT's. I arrive at AFT's to find at least 3 other guys that were looking to hook up with her. We continued our conversation from earlier, whereas the other suitors not so discreetly made their intentions clear and failed. People started funneling out as things started to dip down, and we made our way to her bedroom. Out of nowhere, I tell her my back and shoulders feel really tense, can you give me a massage, to which she hops on my back. After 5 seconds I turn over and start making out with her and things escalate further. In all honesty, asking for a massage was not the catalyst for hooking up as much as we may have made an actual connection that night and other guys were going for a single act of seduction. If you haven't watched my other videos, then be sure to watch this one. I bet it will amaze you. Or you can watch all our videos in a row in this playlist. Write your stories in the comments, subscribe, turn on the bell, and go to our Discord. There we give you money for uploading our videos to TikTok. You uploaded, you gained views, you got money. Link in the comments.